Warning, this episode contains real talk about sexual violence. If you are a victim of sexual violence, please contact RAIN, the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, at 800-656-4673 or go to rain.org. Welcome to Two Queens and a Joker, my narcissist ex and me. I am Brenda.
I'm Sarah.
Today, we are going to talk about shame. We want to talk about the shame that the narcissist is embodied with and the shame that we bring to the relationship too. So as we were trying to plan something to talk about today, I was mentioning some examples to Sarah about where my life was when I met the Joker. And it was pretty chaotic. I had a baby and just left a marriage and was on my own for the first time. And I met him. And I think the timing probably played a whole big role in how that all developed and started. And then I got pregnant so quickly and all of that. And I think a lot of shame for me too, because I had left the marriage and I was young and I had a baby and on my own, and just shame in that too.
When it comes to the Joker, I was having a lot of shame. I was sexually abused, raped, 20 years old, and
Sarah.
I never sought any help or talked about it ever until much later. And so I think the shame of that for me, because I was young and dumb, I was hanging out at the military base and drinking and shouldn't have been doing that, and I put myself in a situation I shouldn't have been in, and something horrible happened to me, and I don't think I I know for a fact I didn't deal with it before meeting the Joker. I
Mm,
think carrying that in with me made it easier for him because my standards were low, you know?
yeah,
I didn't have self-worth. Yeah, it's still hard to talk about.
of course it is. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So I brought that in, and he wide opened the door, and I think he could tell, not that I was damaged goods, but that my insides were damaged.
Hmm.
I played myself off really well, at least I thought I did. I mean, I've never been very confident. I don't have a lot of self-worth, and I think that might be a reason he was drawn in, and that's my shame that he saw and made me vulnerable to his manipulations.
Yeah. I am so sorry. So sorry. You talking about this now, which has got to be close to 30 years later and still having this much pain about it, speaks to how fucking vile sexual abuse is. And it's not anything that you did. You can stand out in the middle of the fucking street, stark naked, and nobody has the right to touch you.
Oh, absolutely. I put myself in a situation I shouldn't have been in, with drinking and hanging out with certain people and
Mm,
lowering what my standards should have been. Not that I deserved what happened to me at all.
uh,
Nobody deserves that.
nope.
But I think that even now, I mean, it still gets me when I think about it. I get upset. But even worse than that, I get more upset about the Joker and how he made me feel more of a victim than being sexually raped.
Yeah, I can relate to that too. I understand that. And for what it's worth, I was raped once too when I was, I
Sorry.
think, about 17. It was a date rape, but I was at his parents' house with him. I remember when he was done walking out of the house and just wandering aimlessly because I was in shock, I think, looking back. Yeah, I tend to think that many of us carry a story like this and don't I never talk about this.
I've told one therapist, and I've told, I think, of one friend back in the day. They seek the vulnerability. Somebody that's in that trauma, they but I didn't outwardly show it. I tried to show that I'm a strong person. I tried to not talk about it, not communicate about it. Just I basically move on with my life. Don't think about it anymore. You're not that person. You're not that vulnerable person that got taken advantage of. But they can tell. And it doesn't have to be just that. I mean, they can tell if, you're having problems with your family, or you grew up wrong or differently, and they'll use that to get in and dig their claws in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I fully believe this because they're predator. They are predators.
Yeah. But I think about it, I've been, well, a lot lately when we've been talking about all the podcast and him.
Mhm.
I wonder how it would have changed my life if I confided in my parents and sought the help I needed.
Mm,
Maybe I wouldn't have been vulnerable to the Joker.
maybe.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, and that speaks to how important support is too. But I think especially, if you think about the time that this happened to you, we didn't talk about these things. And women are constantly blamed for why were you wearing that? Why were you there? Why? Like the woman is questioned instead of just questioning why the fuck the man can't keep his dick in his pants.
Thank you.
Right. You definitely think that there is something that the narcissist in anybody that's got that kind of lack of empathy personality type is going to look for what they see as weakness or a way in. But I do think my shame allowed that too, because I thought I did everything wrong. If I didn't run away from home, if I had stayed married, which I shouldn't have got married in the first place.
Those if I didn't do this and didn't do that
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time. We're self-blaming for something that's not our fault.
Yes.
And I I don't know if that's just our generation or it's every generation that thinks like that, but our generation didn't talk about it.
Oh, no. No.
It's not something even back then, the police didn't do anything about it. Like you said, well, why were you wearing that? Why were you drinking? Why were you, out at 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night? You're 19 years old or, a couple of my friends reported what had happened to them and nothing came of it. It was like, well, it was more of the boys will be boys,
Oh,
and maybe you guys should have not been there or planned it different. But like you said, how does what we do have anything to do with this person violating?
exactly. And the lasting damage is just something that I can fundamentally changes who you are for the rest of your life
Yeah. I
to
think
be
that's what makes
violent.
me kind of timid.
Yeah.
I don't speak up for myself. I mean, I trying, but
You're getting better at it.
yeah, but in like confrontational situations, it is ingrained in me that I back away.
Mhm.
I have to back away.
Hmm.
I don't like sticking up for myself because comfort for me is backing away and getting out of that situation.
Yeah. Fight or flight. That's
Yeah,
the fight, right?
yeah. Which sucks. It really sucks.
The fight isn't much better. I'm fight.
I mean, I want my kids to think of me as a strong, independent I'm independent, absolutely, but I don't see myself as strong, speaking up for myself. I mean, this is the first time that I've done this kind of stuff, and you're helping me with it. I hope that my kids always say how proud they are
Good.
that I'm able to talk about it and come out and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I wanna feel how they feel, but I don't have that yet.
Hope that will come.
I'm happy that what we're doing is helping other people. At least I hope it's helping other people.
I think it is. I hope it is.
That's what I stick to. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever we went through and we're surviving and still going through it, any of it, if it's one person, any little bit that we say or even when we're joking around helps them,
Yeah.
that's worth it to
Same. Same. Right? Even if it's helping us, right? And
me.
we have a bond now, and I hope that even that's good for us, and that's enough for me too if nobody listens to this, but I hope that also people can see friendships can come from the most unexpected places. Right.
I remember when Chris, my stepmom mom and I were talking, and she's like, "You're talking to who? You guys are gonna do what?"
I
I'm
bet.
like I said, "I understand where you're coming from because she was so scared," and I said, "But you know what? I think I found my person. I think I found my other soulmate, like, my friend, my family. We can talk to each other because we were in the same situation, but it's not just based off of that. We have friendship, we have the kids. Out of the misery of the Joker, I think we have won.
Girl.
Yeah.
Hell yes, we have. And that tattoo on your arm is evidence of that. And it's evidence of what we've both come out of, right? And what you have come out of recently. You went through a lot more than I did leaving him. I just left.
He still had the draw. He still was able to pull you in when you thought you were able to handle him, and
I
it's
was
just been
not.
new slick moves, new way of thinking, new way of manipulation, new way of hiding his lies.
Yeah, definitely. Can I tell you this? This is a very shameful thing for me. I had gone no contact with him for 4 years because he kept playing games and making promises and things like that and just never showing up. And I finally had enough. Well, so I hadn't talked to him for 4 years. Like, I worked hard to not think about him, to not I didn't listen to music for that whole time, like, because there were just too many memories that would come up. I worked really hard, and then when I had to call him because Ian was trying to call him and he didn't answer. I don't know what that was about, whatever, but when I called him, he did answer, and I was trying to get somebody to pick him up from the airport because he was flying back to LA and I was in or I think it was LA, but anyway, I was in Wisconsin, and so I was trying to arrange this, and I swear to God, it's almost like I can picture him twirling his mustache, right? Like, "Oh, she's calling me and she needs something." And I told myself, I'm going to call him. I'm going to expect that he helps because his son needs him right now. And he's not shown up for him very well prior to that. And that was going to be it. I was not going to allow him to come back in. I was not going to allow any more conversation other than let me know that you picked Ian up. Let me know when he'll be on his flight back home. And that was going to be it. And I really did kind of keep a boundary a little bit, but he kept calling and he kept calling, and the other thing is that he would constantly, because during that time I was really trying to keep my distance, but was not perfect at it. I did answer the phone and I shouldn't have, and this is my shame. I allowed it, and then I just didn't have the boundary anymore. And then we were friends, and then we were talking all the time. But during the time when I still had a bit of a boundary up, I wasn't calling him. He would call me. But I think to get my attention, and this is what he would do all the time, I need to talk to you right away. It's about Ian. Like, or it would be call, 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 and I didn't answer. And then it would be pick up. I'm trying to talk to you. And then I wouldn't respond. And then he'd bring in one of the kids, either usually Alex or Ian, because he's not going to call me about your kids because he's got you for that. But
Yeah,
that was a way
exactly.
for him to twist, right? And, it's really important. I got to talk to you about Alex. So I would call or answer thinking, there's something wrong with one of the kids that he knew he could always get me with that. And even when I started to kind of pick up on that's what he was doing, I'd still fall for it because I think to myself, what if I'm wrong this time?
Yeah. You don't wanna risk that because 'cause you're thinking, "What sane parent would use their kid?"
Exactly. Oh, no kind, empathetic parent would.
Which we're not claiming he is at all,
And
you
no,
know?
but even then, I did not know then. Wait, did I graduate from my master's program yet? Oh, I did. I should have known, but I would still wasn't putting it together then.
I
Yeah.
think you don't want to, obviously, 20 plus years married, you
Yeah.
don't wanna think that what you're thinking is correct. You don't wanna put that person in negative. I mean, you're
Right.
already convinced that you're the one that's wrong because it's been drilled into you consistently every day in a negative, sometimes abusive way. So you don't want it to be true. You don't wanna connect those dots. I mean, the dots are there, but you don't wanna connect those
That is
dots.
so true. That is so true. The dots are kind of blaring at you for the
They're like
most
the
part.
red lights going, "Girlfriend, do you see me?"
Wake up. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the power of the brain too. That cognitive dissonance is a real thing, and we hold on to the image that feels safer for us. And we don't
Yes.
think of it that way, but what feels safer for us is that this person is a good person. This person cares about the children that we share together, and I'm going to talk to him. But it was never about that.
No. No.
Mm-mm.
And what a schmuck he is because the whole time he's like would tell me, "I don't talk to her, we don't communicate," anything like that. And I'm like and you're like, "All the time, all the time."
I'm sorry.
I just fucking hate him more, excuse me.
No, you should. You should.
I'm like, "There's no reason that you should have to lie to me about that. You have children.
Yeah.
Guys should communicate about the children."
Hmm.
And I said, I don't have a problem. I love my stepkids, my bonus kids. I love them. 'Em. They're amazing. They're the best thing I got other than my own kids, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, "Dude," I'm like, I shoulda, like, gotten rid of him from the beginning, and then we all could have been family for the last 20 years.
Amen. No
Yes.
kidding. We would have actually had 2 parents that consistently showed up for all of these kids.
Exactly. Our kids would know what true love is from both
Yes,
sides. They would have it. They would be able to rely on it. They wouldn't have that self-doubt.
absolutely. Yeah, and the draw and craving toward unhealthy relationships, which all of them have had.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's one of the scariest things for me.
it is to me too.
I mean, because they were around this dysfunctional marriage that I had for so long,
Yeah.
and even when Ian and Sis would come, they would have to see it, and I'm just like, I want our children to get away from that cycle. I don't
Yeah.
want them to repeat the cycle or have it repeated to them.
No kidding.
It's
Yeah.
frightening to me to think that I should have left sooner and
Mm,
did this for my kids, because staying where I stayed for so long, it programmed their young minds to think that this is okay. It wasn't ready, and I know I wasn't ready to leave, I didn't have it in me, I didn't think I was strong enough, but still, you go back to, God, why couldn't I have been like that years before and gotten them out and safe and not affected their mental health? Another shame
yeah.
thing for me. And I know like you tell me all the time that you just weren't ready. You weren't, and I get it. I do get it, but the shame of it is I should have to protect my children.
I hear that, and I hear women say this all the time that they wish they had left sooner, and why didn't I? And they feel guilty about it, and there's just so much wrapped up in it. I don't have any words to say to make that better because I understand the mom guilt anyway, like the just guilt you feel all the time that you're not doing enough or you're not doing it right, and then add that on top of it. But one thing I firmly 1,000,000 gazillion percent believe is that this brain that you're talking from right now is not the same brain that you were in relationship with him with. And that goes for all of us. So
I
you
think
think
like the day that the kids talked to me and I filed that restraining order, I think like a light switch didn't flick all the way on, but enough for me to start seeing, to
mm,
start, saying, okay, if your kids believe in you, God damn it, woman, stick up for them. You need to be stronger. Even if not for yourself, for them.
yeah, yeah. It's amazing how what's the word? Inspiration that kids can be for you, right? And it's often easier to do things for somebody you love than it is for yourself too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank goodness. Thank goodness you had them encouraging you. My kids were too little when all of this went down with him and me.
I remember towards not the end, we had gotten in an argument about something and he became abusive. And I had said, "You know what? I'm gonna take the kids. We're gonna go away." That fucking asshole loaded up the kids in the car and drove away with them. It's like, "You're not taking my kids." And I went, "Okay." And they were gone all day. He didn't have his phone on, didn't no, not a goddamn word.
That is a monstrous thing to do, and I know why he did it. Because Kathy left, I left, and he's thinking, "Nope, you're not doing this to me," even though up until then, what kind of fucking father was he?
No.
You were taking care of them.
Yeah. Oh, he would show up for, "Oh, we're gonna take pictures at an event? Okay, I'll be there."
Yeah,
Gotta have the documentation that I'm a great dad.
right.
This is occasionally, like, in the very beginning when Chu started baseball, well, couple games, then it became,
Mhm.
"Well, my parents didn't go to my games, why do I need to go to his games?" And, I mean, he told his own son that. "Why are you upset? My parents didn't go to mine. Why would you care if I'm there and not?" What
That's
kind of damage that son of a bitch did.
yeah, like a wrecking ball. He's an absolute wrecking ball, and how is it that you don't say, "My parents didn't go to my game, so I'm gonna show up to every single one of yours,"
Would
right?
be a normal response.
I hope so. Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you wanna show your kids that you're there for them, that you back them up, that they're your world, that 100% I am there. Whatever you need, I'm there for you.
Yeah, I'll never understand that either. But you brought up the thing that I hear all the time about the shame about not leaving earlier. But I think honestly, no matter how long you stayed, you'd probably still say that. And then there's all of these things that happen too. Like when we think of all of these events, I think we pile on more shame and guilt too, probably for all of these events that we experience. And it just can feel, I don't know about you, it just feels so overwhelming.
Yes.
Sometimes it's one of those I wanna just get not even just under my blankets, but maybe crawl under my bed and just hide for a few days and not
Well, like, I think it was Choo Choo talking to, and he's like, "Mom, do you realize how you overcompensated for the Joker?" He's like, at the time he was saying this, and he's like, "Mom, we have 5 dogs, we have 2 cats, we have a turtle." And he's like, "You spend all your time with us. You don't have your own life." I mean, not that I have my own life now, but
but
because
your
I mean,
choice
like,
now.
they're my world, but, like, and I was like, "You're right." I said, "Those animals have unconditional love like my children." I come home and it just feels like love, and I'm not scared to come home, don't have the anxiety of coming home. If I'm in a fucking bad mood, I walk through the door and I've got these animals that all they wanna do is be happy with me. They just
Yep.
want you to pet and love them.
Yeah.
God, it's amazing.
It is. It really is. And this is something I see very, very often too, is that most of the women, again, I mostly work with women, but most of the women that I work with are major animal lovers, and when I was just getting to know you, was it, I forget, you had one of your usernames on your social media was about dogs. And I thought, oh, that tracks. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But right, it's unconditional love, and honestly, if we've had events that have happened in our lives that have made us feel unlovable, finding an animal that gives you unconditional love just makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Or 5 or 7 or 8, counting the turtle.
We're down to 3 dogs, 2 cats. I'll take all of them over dating anybody
Oh
that,
my god.
if I had to go through another Joker, no, thank you. I
No, thank you. Nope,
just no,
nope.
I
I'll
will
live outside with my
become
animals.
the cat lady of alcohol if that ever happens. I'd be like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I would easily take that too.
I never feared people before, like, you're apprehensive, but now it's like there's always in my mind, there's always an alternative motive. Why are you talking to me? Why are you trying to get information? Why are you trying to be my friend? Why,
Mhm.
why?
Yeah,
And it's sad to think like that, but I'm conditioned to think like that
yeah.
now.
Oh,
So
right. I
I don't
mean,
have to think about that with my animal.
yeah, right, exactly. Well, I think that makes so much sense because the betrayal is so significant and it rocks your world so much when you finally kind of start to see things for how they really are, that you definitely doubt your own judgment, and then you are probably doubting everybody else. Like, you thought he was okay. I thought he was okay for some part of my life. How could we have been so wrong? And then we, I think, learn to very much not trust our own judgment and instincts.
Oh, definitely. I have poor judgment.
Think I do too.
I'm just like, "Oh my god." I mean, well, the last 2 for me, and then, like, I've fallen in love with all my son's girlfriends
Gosh,
who
yes.
pick me. I'm just like,
Yeah, I've experienced that too until I finally was like, I'm not getting close with any of them anymore because the kids, when they're young, they go through the partners, they don't stay forever. Yeah.
and it's hard because the kids hang out a lot, so I wanna be part of their, meet 'em and, but I think I need to pull back a little and be like, "You when you're with your girlfriend, you do your girlfriend thing or your acquaintance or whatever."
I think mothers should talk about this stuff because I don't think it's just us. I think this has to happen to other people too. You get attached, and of course, teenagers and young adults are going to be dating and have different people they're interested in, and that's completely normal. But I don't think anybody prepares you as the parent for the fact that you're going to like this person and you're going to get used to them being around, and then you're going to really miss them when they're gone.
Well, I have bad judgment when it comes to that because I'm like, "Oh, they're sweet, they're innocent, they're not gonna break my son's heart, they're not gonna
Mm-mm.
lie, they're gonna cheat," because m my son to me is one of the strongest males that I know. I don't know why, but I think I thought he had, like, really good judgment or
Mm.
and that kinda stuff when it came to that, but now I'm seeing I'm like, "Dude, sucker, you are like me." He has the need to fix people, and I'm like, "That's such a sweet quality to have. I wish I didn't install that into it," whatever. No, I'm gonna say install, you because that's not your job. You are who you are. If you fucking lie and then you say you're not gonna lie, that's a lie.
Yeah.
Because you are, because that's who you are, that's who you chose to be. It's you can't turn a switch and be this person that doesn't lie anymore because anytime you're in a situation, anytime you're questioned, you're gonna go back and revert to a lie because that it was easy for you and you got away with it for so long, so why not keep trying it?
Of course. It
Ah.
becomes part of your character or lack of character.
People, I'm gonna say something that my friend says at work all the time. Do better. Be better people. You don't have to lie. You don't have to cheat. You don't have to manipulate. It's disgusting. It's like varies in ages. And it just I'm amazed. Like, how do we, my son and myself, keep finding these people?
It's remarkable. Honestly, I think there's more of them to find these days too. I just think, unfortunately, I don't know why everyone is so afraid to communicate with each other. If you're not interested in being in a monogamous relationship, then just say so.
If the other person wants monogamy and you don't, just be like, I really like you, but I can't be that person. So if you want to stay with me, know that I'm not going to be with just you.
Hmm.
That's so simple.
It
Just
is.
you can like when you talk about You can love more than one person at once, is what I'm told. I'm like, okay, I don't get it, but okay. So just be honest.
Just be honest. Yeah.
Don't lie. Don't manipulate. Don't make this person think they love me so much that they're going to be with me only when they say they're going to be with me only. It's
Right.
disgusting. And in this
It's
day and age is so unhealthy and risky. So just be honest.
yeah.
I mean, not that in our day it wasn't risky, but it seems like it's 100 times worse nowadays. Like, I wish the Joker would have just been fucking honest.
God,
Be like,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm fucked around." I would have gone and got checked.
Yeah.
To find out afterwards and worry like, "Oh my god, do I have something? Like, how many people was he with?" And those last couple of years when he was into the
Oh,
drugs and, injecting heroin, I'm just like, "Oh my, what do I have?"
right. The risk that he put you at
Well,
that's
and
inexcusable.
I mean, those what when before he kicked him out, they'd be lying around and he'd say, "Diabetic, it's in my insulin." I'm like, "You don't go through that many syringes and you don't, you inject in your stomach, you inject here, you don't inject into a vein."
Right. Right.
I'm sorry. I'm not a nurse, not a doctor, but you don't inject insulin into a vein.
No, everyone knows that, right?
Oh,
Everyone has a visual probably of somebody injecting in the stomach, especially 'cause you're supposed to do it in some place with a little bit of fat, right? So,
yes.
well, I mean, that's the lying, right? That's first nature, not even second nature. But I think the biggest crime in that too is that you take the other person's choice away
Yeah.
when you lie, right? It's just it's like holding somebody hostage almost.
Yes.
The communication is not that hard, and I just hope people will start thinking about having integrity as a value.
Like, I'm not a good communicator, but I'm honest. I am honest. I don't like telling people if I'm upset or anything like that, but if I fuck up, I will tell you I fucked up. You know what? I did that wrong. That's my bad. Or I scheduled you at the wrong time. That's my bad. I'm so sorry.
Gosh,
You know, but to go and step outside a marriage and multiple times and me not to find out till later and make me worry about myself and the children, like what he not only risked his own health, he literally risked mine and the 2 kids' health because
yes.
it was in our house.
The more I think about that too, with all of the stuff that he was doing during that time that you've described, I mean, there's already just like that selfishness, right? Like that just everything is about him. But to actively put you in harm's way is like a whole other level. And that's definitely what he was doing.
Absolutely.
I
And
cannot wrap my head around that.
there was well, I was an addict, I shouldn't be held accountable. Bull fucking shit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. I'm
You're
sorry.
accountable no matter what. Now you're
Yeah.
accountable for that too, for being an addict and putting that dangerous situation in your life as well.
No, being an addict does not mean that you're untouchable, that you are not held for what you do. Being an addict is no fun. I can admit that. It's a horrible disease. It absolutely fucking is. But it does not give you a free pass.
No,
You do not get a
no.
free pass. I'm sorry.
It doesn't wipe the slate clean for you either, right? It
Not
doesn't
at all. No.
retroactively.
I think for so long I thought of it that way when we were still together,
Mm,
like, "He's got problems, he's an alcoholic. I can't blame him. He's trying, da 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 da." But after decades, dude, you cannot keep blaming your addiction and thinking, "Well, we're clean. We're a clean slate. It's okay," because it wasn't my doing. It was the addiction. No, you're an adult, motherfucker. You did this to not only yourself, you did it to your family. And it wasn't like we weren't there for you. It wasn't like I didn't go to therapy with you. It wasn't like I didn't go to treatment centers with you. Walk out the next day. No, you did it. You chose it. Live with it. Recognize what you did to your family.
yeah, have some remorse. Yeah. No,
Take
there's none of
no
that.
accountability whatsoever.
No. It was a all it was a golden ticket for him to say, "Oh, I don't have to do any of the things that they told me to do in treatment. I don't have to work hard in therapy if I even go. Like I just get this get out of jail free card." I saw that's towards the end when the addiction was going on after he went to the treatment center in Maryland or wherever it was. When he came back from that was when the light bulbs were really going off for me. I was like, "I see what you're doing." Weaponizing the treatment and using treatment language to excuse his behaviors.
Oh yeah, I got a phone call from the therapist that he was with in Maryland. saying that I've been chosen to be his sponsor and his caretaker when he gets out, and I need to fly out and learn how to do this and answer these questions and learn how to not hate this person for his addiction. I like was kind of like frozen on the phone, and I'm like, "Do you not know the story?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "You're his therapist, right there?" And she's like, "Well, yeah." I'm like, "Do you not know what an abusive, manipulative asshole he is to me and the children?
Mhm.
Did he not tell you that there's a restraining order in place?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "There you go. I mean, he's manipulating you." And I said, "No, I'm not gonna do this." And she said, "Well, he's your husband and you should support your husband." I said, "No,
Oh,
there's a restraining order for a reason." Said, I'm not supporting this human being anymore. He had me for 20 plus years doing that. He didn't want me to do it. He did everything in his power not for me to do that. So I am not going to do it one more time. Not happy. I choose myself and I choose my children. No, I will not. And she was upset. So, well, you should be his support. And I was. That's
yeah.
all I could say. I was.
Yeah. No,
Shit
I
on
left
it.
that job.
Yeah. He shit on it. So no.
He did shit on it. Yeah. See, you said you don't stand up for yourself very well. You did then.
It was just the way she said it, and that he manipulated her and her the whole story, and I'm just like and then but she still pursued after I told her, "Look, restraining order, not happening, no." And still, you should be his support." And I was like, "Not happening."
Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really out of pocket, as the young ones say. She had no right to expect that of you.
Yeah,
None
I didn't think
whatsoever.
so either. I think I called my mom or Chris right after that, and they were like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "Is he that deluded to think that, oh my god, he's actually staying at this clinic and actually getting help, that I'm gonna let him come back into not our family, but mine and the kids' lives and destroy us all over again?"
Yeah. After he's already had so many chances.
20 years,
Yeah.
20 years of me thinking I'm crazy. It's my job to be there for him no matter what. We set our vows, supposed to back him up. I'm supposed to protect him. I'm supposed to cover for him. No, I'm not.
No.
You're not. Absolutely. You should help when you can. But if that help is repeatedly thrown back in your face and shit on, nope, now it's my time to shit on it. I'm sorry. I'm not doing
Yep.
it.
Yep. That's when you close the door to all of that. I mean, I do think marriage takes work. Any relationship takes work. You have to pay attention to it and work on it, but not when somebody's abusive to you. That just puts it I'm consistently abusive. We all have the capability of being abusive sometimes. And I'm not talking about like physical abuse, but sometimes we can say things that we wish we hadn't said and things like that. But when that's somebody's whole personality, why the hell would you stick around? And why would anybody expect you? I have to say this, a lot of people, if not most people who work in treatments and drug and alcohol treatment centers are drawn to the work because they've had addiction themselves. And I think that there's a term called dry drunk. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but it's people who still act like they're addicts despite being clean. And they do things like this. They behave in the same emotionally underdeveloped way. And I have to think that maybe that woman that you were talking to just hadn't done her own work because was bringing her own pain into her conversation with you because maybe no one showed up for her and she's like, how dare you not show up for your and kind of projecting. None of it's okay. And I think if you're going to work with other human beings, uh, you have to be doing your own work too. You have to be noticing like where those cracks are that you need to fill, with your own healing. I don't think she was there. And I'm saying it in a way more nice way than I am actually feeling about it right now.
Yeah.
Not that I'm perfect. I mean, I've got my own issues and still healing from stuff that just happened a week ago, right?
All are.
Yeah.
But we don't inflict pain on others
Ideally.
consistently and
Yeah.
all the time and then expect that person just to suck it up.
Yeah. Just continue to be a doormat for him. He needs somebody. Too
I think
bad.
that's exactly what he wanted me to be. And then finally, when I wasn't that doormat anymore, it was eye-opening for him, and, oh my god, I'm losing control.
I want to say something about that. Did you think that was when he was in the treatment center or after?
Think it was mainly more when he was in the treatment center. I didn't talk to anybody after that
Mm.
therapist, but I can imagine the therapist going back and having a conversation with him and saying, "No, she's not doing it, and this is why."
Yeah.
And I think that was a spark of, "I've lost control over her."
Yes. And I want to tell you from the other side of this. So I was still talking to him up until like shortly after he came back from treatment. And I was at, we were having lunch or something. If I didn't know better, I would have thought he was truly heartbroken. He had come back. I think his friend went and picked him up from the treatments. And then he came back and he was staying at the friend Rick's house. And I was having lunch with him at this place and he was crying and he was really upset and it was about you. He was very upset that he didn't have contact with you anymore and he couldn't see the kids. And I'm like, but you have a lot of work to do before that's ever going to happen again. And he was just sad, but he said something about like, she just won't even talk to me. Like he was surprised, meaning you, like he was surprised that you wouldn't talk to him. And I'm like, why would she? Look what you have done, you know? And I mean, you guys were already apart before that. And then he did all, the overdose and all of that stuff. And then the bullshit with the property. I don't know all of that, but him trying to get his stuff and just all of the nonsense. But I think you're right. I think that that was probably a moment, a turning point moment where he really started to see the writing on the wall. Like Sarah means it. I think that's what's called ending on a happy note. Thank you for listening, and we hope to see you next time.